Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, December 13th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol CCCC. That's a lot of C's, but CCCC is very nice mover today and has a nice overall uptrend here, and want to get a couple levels mapped out. So the first dynamic here to keep an eye on moving forward is there does seem to be a nice solid area of support right there via trend line. Now you could draw that trend line a couple different ways, but I'm just trying to kind of find a common ground of how other people might draw it, because that's been doing a good job of just kind of forecasting how the thing is quote unquote drifted upwards. So use that trend line right there. Now if you want to use more so an overarching level, then keep it on that purple line right there, the 50 period simple moving average, keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to continue to move itself higher and higher. So it's essentially like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. But that's also, a much wider point of view, because that would imply that the price has to drop down a whole lot more, where this area of support, you can be a little bit more aggressive. But that's where it just comes up to you and your personal strategy in terms of how aggressive you like to be on pullbacks. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy or complicated here. Literally just a question of where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at $2.70. So keep an eye on 270 moving forward. But all in all, great movement today, great volume. So we'll see if the price can maintain that trend line and then potentially get that break of 270 on Wednesday. Next one here, ticker symbol AMD. Been tracking this one very closely. And for those of you that watched yesterday's video, hopefully remember me putting in that resistance trend line right there. And this morning, things started off a bit shaky. Not a bit shaky, quite shaky. I mean, a gap all the way down there. But check it out, that opening 30 minutes after the market opened up, price came all the way up here, not only to get to that trend line, but then broke through it and made a fantastic move in the upwards direction. So I was joking around today in our chat room community about how AMD basically seems to only go up these days. So why I haven't put my whole entire account into this and just watch it as it gets bigger and bigger, I don't know. But yes, AMD, as you can see here, a little bit more context. Very, very nice uptrend. So that level has been broken. Go ahead, get rid of that. I'm also going to adjust this area of support up to this newest area right there at the 135 mark. And one little note there, assuming you're bullish, whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that's always a good sign. So yeah, newest near-term level of support, 135, but also as what we just talked about, you can use that purple line too, 50 period moving average. So as time goes by, then that line moves itself higher and higher. That's another area of support to watch. In terms of areas of resistance, party finally stopped up here right around the 139.50 mark. So as previously stated too, nothing fancy or complicated right there. So just keep an eye on that. But at the end of the day, that kind of the resistance levels don't matter. What matters most is that these lows just keep getting higher and higher. And as long as that is the case, then everything else, including those areas of resistance, will take care of itself. Next one, ADTX, and started off the day very nicely, but has had a pullback. But within the pullback, have an interesting dynamic here, because you could potentially try to play some sort of trend line reversal on a breakout. And the level that stands out to me as an, let's adjust that a little bit more. There we go. As an area of interest is that trend line right there. Now, of course, there are no guarantees, but is it plausible? Is it valid that if the price can come up here and get a push up through that line right there, that could signal that this consolidation period is over and that this little miniature pullback is over? I think that's a plausible conclusion. Again, not guaranteed to happen. That's why risk management matters, but I think that's an area that a lot of people could potentially be watching. And when lots of people are watching the same areas and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movements. So keep an eye on that. In terms of areas of support, initial level going to be right down here at the 555 mark. And that's just where this pullback has stopped. But once again, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive and look for an even deeper pullback, you could also use that purple line down there, the 50 period moving average. But all in all, big movement today. Yeah, pretty big pullback, but now starting to get a little bit of consolidation, trying to start to head back upwards. So will this trend line lead to that much more upside potential? We'll see what happens. Next one here, NIO, and a very, very brutal day this morning. You can see the opening 30 minutes, big red candle right there, and then spent the next 30 minutes, another red candle. It did level out a little bit and has now got a little bit of an upwards move to it. So you can see kind of have a little miniature ascending triangle there. But in fact, so yeah, there is this ascending triangle. But from the bearish standpoint, if I do this, because yeah, before that pattern happened, there was a downwards move. So what I've drawn here is just a bear pennant pattern. Now, just because there's a bullish pattern does not mean the price is going to go upwards. And same thing here. Just because it's a bearish pattern does not mean that, oh, for sure, guaranteed, there's no question about it, the price is going to collapse to the downside. Now, if the price did break to the downside, would that shock anybody? I don't think so, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little house cleaning, get rid of these levels as they serve their purpose for now. And one of the newest areas of support is just going to be down here at that area where the price has been before a couple of times, right at 715. I think, yeah. So if you look back here through the history of the chart, you can see right there, behaved as support, and then that's essentially right again where it bounced. So if the price does break down through that bear pennant, the next key level to watch will be 715 from a support standpoint. If the price does try to bounce back upwards, then the main dynamic here to watch is those moving averages. Purple line, which you now know is a 50-period moving average, and that pink line as a 200-period moving average. You can see that both those lines are essentially the same thing, and those would be, now that the price is down below there, a level of resistance that you could expect to potentially see a battleground, happen right around those areas. But yeah, no doubt about it. Today, very, very rough day. Past few days, very, very rough, very disappointing, because there's no doubt about it. This move right here was very impressive, but now the price is on pace to potentially give back all those gains. Next one here, AMC, and we're now at a very, very key level, and this will mean more to those of you that have watched past videos. But if you have, I've been talking about this area, this green line here, both there, and then you fast forward to today, and you can see that as I speak, the price is bouncing around right at that level. So I'm going to zoom in now a little bit, so just so you can understand where that line was coming from. But you're seeing here, the price is right at that level. So yes, right here around the 675-ish mark, give or take a little bit, is going to be an important level. And right now you do have a hammer candle that formed right there, and the market closes here in about 9 minutes. So still a little bit of time to see what kind of candle forms right there. But that's definitely going to be a very important level to watch moving forward. If that area does not hold as support, then as you're seeing here, next level of support essentially not until down here around those lows of the 650 mark, which I would consider very, very important, because as you're seeing here, if the price were to drop below those levels, then now all of a sudden the price is at, I think, maybe all-time lows. I don't know that for sure, but not a good situation if the price were to, fell below 670, 675-ish, and then go down to that next level. In terms of areas of resistance, yes, you still have this overarching level up here that I talked about previously, but before you really even put too much emphasis on that, prices first got to prove itself in the near term by getting above those moving averages right there. But yeah, anyway, look at it. Very rough day today. At least it's nice to see the price trying to hold above that area of support, but certainly the bear showed up in a big way. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. But like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, FTCH, and this thing has been absolutely beat to the downside in a very, very violent way. I mean, not quite straight down, but very, very close to being straight down. But what I find interesting here is that the price has at least started to go sideways, and not only sideways, a slight little upward slope to it. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has gotten beat down, just because the price is behaving this manner, does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom and for sure guaranteed the price is going to bounce. But does it become a little bit more plausible right now? Absolutely. Case in point, let's just say that the price was still just dropping. I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be a bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally still going down. But that's not the case here. It has started to behave in a way that maybe, just maybe, is some sort of bottom. So if you like penny stocks and you like to play these situations where it makes sense to throw out the question of, hey, is some sort of bottom forming? Is some sort of turnaround potentially, in the next, couple of days going to be around the corner? Then I definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one, ticker symbol GOTU. Nice one here, good solid pattern, and you got to think a lot of people are watching this pattern. So as I draw this into play, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is some sort of special talent that I have. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be watching this general pattern right here. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call that a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let me change it to one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big upwards move right here. For you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So like I mentioned earlier, just because there's a bearish pattern does not mean the price is going to go down. Just because there's a bullish pattern, price isn't going to go up. But would anybody be shocked if the price came up here, broke to the upside, and then got that much more momentum? No, I don't think anybody would be caught off guard by that. So if you like this price range down below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and another rough day here. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these lines up here as they serve their purpose for now, and they're starting to become a little bit irrelevant. So we'll just get rid of these ones right now. And the first update that comes into play, and that actually played out perfectly here, is that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and you can see that is exactly what happened here. So price came down here to 237.50, broke down through it right there. Then there was this nice bounce up, and check that out right there, got rejected by it. So that does not mean that 237.50 can't be broken. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price struggled at that area, and that moving forward, that's going to remain a very important level of resistance. If the price can push up through there, then has been the case with a lot of these other charts. Next key areas of resistance will be that pink line and the purple line there, the two key moving averages. Now, the next important thing is this area of support right here. One of those levels where, again, you got to think that everybody and their brother's uncle is watching this level down here at 233.75. And I say that because if you look back here, you can see found support, found support, found support, found support. So a lot of people, some people are going to be with it saying, you know what, I think it can bounce. I can see that. Other people are saying, you know what, if it doesn't, I think that's going to open up even more floodgates to the downside. I can see that also. But that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But the common theme there is that you got to think a lot of eyeballs going to be watching there right around 233.75. So if the price does roll back over, it'll be interesting to see how the price behaves at that level. Next one here, ticker symbol LCID, and same general idea as kind of FTCH, except that happened over the course of a couple of days. But this one, the big downwards nasty move happened that opening 30 minutes. Huge plunge, and then it had a little plunge here. But what's interesting about this second plunge is instead of accelerating and continuing down, the brakes were slammed on very quickly, and then the price came up, and in doing so, has formed a nice little miniature bull pennant pattern. Now, yes, this bull pennant pattern is happening within a general bearish context, but my point here in just bringing this, pointing this out, is that at least makes sense that, maybe, just maybe, this action right here is some sort of leading indicator that there's going to be a further return back to the upside. Now, does it get all the way up here to those highs? I don't know about that, but from a trading standpoint, even if it goes up half that amount, that would still be a good, respectable gain. But like I said, just interesting dynamic here, because at one point, in fact, let me just show you. At one point in time, that's what the chart looked like. I mean, it was looking like, uh-oh, here we go again. Broke down through that consolidation. How bad is it going to get? And then all of a sudden, ba-boom, and then up it went and formed that bull pennant pattern. So does that mean anything? It might not, but if you find this sort of situation interesting, then definitely keep an eye on it for Wednesday. Next one here, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to go up as a whole, this one will also go up as a whole, and it's a very popular ETF. And very, very solid day today. Just grinded, slow and steady, nothing explosive. First 30 minutes was kind of crazy, but other than that, just slow and steady. And what is very interesting here is the price is up at this key level at the $47 mark. And now that just rolls into the question of, is there going to be some sort of rejection here? Is the price going to break out and just keep grinding? So that's one of those kind of grab your popcorn type situations, because that is going to be a very watch level. And going back through things here, in fact, let me just go to the... I struggled with this yesterday trying to find the level. There we go. So where we're at right now is basically right here. You can see from back here several months ago, that level provided resistance, and right now the price is literally right at that level. So that's going to be the big question. Is there some sort of double top that's forming? Is there going to be a breakout that's going to come along? A lot of questions, but all the questions are revolving around the fact that the price is now up at this high that was last seen, again, several months ago. So if the price does get rejected back downwards, then you still do have that 45.70 mark as a key level of support, which is just that former breakout area. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, grab your popcorns, grab your Sour Patch Kids. Is this a double top? Is this the start of an even bigger breakout? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be a couple of days, Thursday, December 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, say hi, tell me what you traded today. But those things help out with the algorithm, they help out the channel, and they communicate to me that you are enjoying. And I really appreciate that. It helps, kind of let me know what I should be using my time on in terms of what types of videos. So thanks for hanging out. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, and go get signed up for that class.